Dana White. Yeah, he's the big boss over there at the UFC. And he was a guest. He was schmoozing, a little small talk, as he was hanging out on something called the UFC 278 with the Gronks. Was I watching that? No, I have a life. Not much of one, but more than that. And I did see the clip online. It was bouncing around online. It came to my attention. There was an interview with Rob Gronkowski, thus the Gronks. They were all hanging out there playing grab ass. Now, during the lighthearted conversation, Gronk brought up the fact that Dana White made a recruiting pitch to bring Tom Brady to Las Vegas. And that goes back a couple years when Brady was a free agent from the Patriots. And if you didn't see this and you didn't hear about it, well, we have the audio taped. Here's Dana White explaining that he had everything planned out for a Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski confab in Vegas.
I worked to put that deal together for Brady and Gronk to come to the Raiders. And it was almost a done deal. And at the last minute, Gruden blew the deal up and said that he didn't want him. And all hell broke loose, man. It was crazy. And Brady was already looking at houses, and it wasn't being said yet that Gronk was coming. So Las Vegas would have had Brady and Gronk the year that the Bucs won the Super Bowl, except Gruden blew the deal up.
Oh, my God! Ah! Yeah. All right, so that was the money. Oh, no! Yeah, that was the money soundbite. Yeah, you win some, you lose some, and so let us discuss. Gronkowski verifying in that clip, verifying that indeed Dana White's account was accurate, saying that's exactly what happened. So as we talk about this, the question, why did Dana White spill the tea on Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski's bromance with the Raiders, even though it never actually happened? So I've got dummy run, cavities, and lumber. And we will combine all of these things together, and we will make the bedrock of this Maller monologue. So, A, Dana White started spitting his guts out. You heard it because Gronkowski wanted that. This is not that deep. This is an Occam's razor situation. The most obvious answer is the way to go. There were rumblings that Tom Brady was house hunting in Vegas back in 2020. We had breathless, minute-by-minute coverage of that free agency because we have no lives here at Fox Sports Radio. We were all over that, and we discussed the situation. And I recall it, there were rumors that Brady was spotted in Las Vegas looking at property, and people were connecting the dots, and others were saying, no, nothing to see here. Those rumors were dismissed as hearsay, and people saying, well, Brady just wants to own property there. He didn't want to play for the Raiders. But amateur internet sleuths had seen Tom Brady snooping around the suburbs around Las Vegas, outside Vegas proper. Now, it appears that based on this, they were 100% accurate. Brady was doing some house hunting. Now, Tom Brady was this close. You can't see my fingers to going to Sin City. But so now the story can be told, but why? Because Rob Gronkowski is retired again, and this was a dummy run for his next career. Gronkowski has dabbled in television. He would like to continue that clearly. Gronk was trying out for a gig with ESPN. He was looking to impress his bosses in Connecticut there, and so he said, well, let me bring Dana White on. Look at me. I can show you. I've got insider information. I will let everyone know. And now that he's a former player, he's more than happy to share the sugar. And so Dana White did a solid for Rob Gronkowski. You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back, and that's exactly how that went down. Now, part B of this, how come Jon Gruden backed away from acquiring Tom Brady? Now, we don't know for sure. Gruden refused to answer questions about that when contacted by reporters over the weekend, considering his ongoing legal brouhaha with the NFL. We are going to go out on a limb that Jon Gruden is not interested and certainly not gung-ho to talk about Tom Brady and what almost was. So using the speculation machine. We've got a working theory as to why Gruden ended up harpooning the deal without any insider information. Now, I've got insecurity and cavities. So Gruden had unease about letting an outsider, Dana White. I think it's a UFC guy. That's what Dana White is. That's all he is. He's nothing more than that. That he was going to work to broker the deal. That Chucky boy who had the forever contract, the 10-year contract with the Raiders. And now he's going to let some guy who isn't even employed by the franchise work as a liaison to bring TB12 to Vegas. Now, that would have played badly. But the biggest issue, looking back, the cavities. That's the biggest issue. Tom Brady, people don't like to bring this up, but when he was leaving the Patriots, the last couple years in New England, it did not go well individually for Tom Brady. It was a bumpity ride individually, performance-wise, and had all the signs of a decaying quarterback. And Jon Gruden likely realized, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to pay this guy a lot of money, and I didn't want to do that. There's an old saying that stands true, don't let a falling star fall on top of you. And so he got cold feet. Jon Gruden said, no, swing and a miss. Swing and a miss. No. All right, last word. So what does this Dana White story do now for Derek Carr and his reputation with the Raiders? Well, this is a trip to Home Depot, to the lumber aisle at Home Depot for Derek Carr, and this is the old 2x4 right to the forehead, and then down on the schnozola for Derek Carr. Why? Because Tom Brady pantsed him on HBO back in 2021. It was on that Fugazi show, The Shop, that I don't know who watches that, but it gets a lot of money from HBO. But remember the famous quote, one of the teams, Brady was sitting around in the faux barbershop. He said, one of the teams, they weren't interested. At the very end, I was thinking, you're sticking with that MFer. Brady said. Now, at the time, we were convinced it was either the Titans or the Raiders he was talking about, Ryan Tannehill or Derek Carr, with a lean on this show to Ryan Tannehill. But now it appears that we have confirmation that Tom Brady said, you're sticking with that MFer, and it was the Raiders quarterback, Mr. Carr. And that is now all but confirmation as a body blow to Derek Carr. It's beyond a reasonable doubt that was the Raiders that Brady was talking about. And so Carr, even though the Raiders keep paying him, he continues to be a defective, deformed consolation prize at quarterback. And right now, you look at that AFC West, the Raiders are stuck with the worst quarterback in the division. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And even with a contract extension, Carr is the guy who has an electrical wiring issue. And it's a problem. That's a big problem because there are regular glitches in his game. He buckles for long stretches and is undependable. And now the Raiders fans have more ammunition, Raider Nation, to throw at Derek Carr. It's bad enough the guy started in his career 127 games and his 13 games under 500. Much of that, a lot of it, his ineptitude at quarterback, where he's shown stretches of being very good and then stretches of being bad. That's the definition of average. When you're about half the time you suck and the other half you're okay. And he's one of these guys that we've seen where he gets off to a good start, and then as the season goes on, teams figure him out. He starts to fade away. And so you have him right in the middle of the bell curve. And it gets even better. This story's got legs. One of the reasons we began the show with it is because it's got legs. Because supposedly, I'll believe it when I see it, Tom Brady, who's, we believe, been contemplating retirement, will come back from his training camp vacation. Boy, how great must that be if you're a coworker? Let me take a vacation during training camp. What a joke. What a disgrace Tom Brady's become to take a vacation during training camp. It's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. It's ridiculous. You imagine that? No, seriously. If he comes back, it's a vacation. We think he was contemplating Retirement. Don't you hate coworkers like that? No, seriously. If you have a job,
Yes,
and there's somebody else like, well, we'll let him take let him take a vacation here, right? Right? Everyone else is working. Everyone else is working. He gets a vacation. Why does he get a vacation?
You're fired.
Guess what? When he popes, crap comes out. That's how that works. It's not gold bars that come out of his tuchus.
poop fest.
Tom Brady. But Brady's going to have to answer questions because at some point, assuming he comes back, hey, Tom, Dana White and Rob Gronkowski confirmed, Tom, that the Raiders were the team you called Derek Carr an MFer. Your thoughts? Hey, Derek Carr, we've gotten confirmation that Tom Brady called you a MFer. What do you think of that?